Hey guys, Modsy here, back with another video. And I just want to say very sorry there hasn't been a video in the last couple of weeks. Leading up to end of November, early December, it has been absolutely flat out busy here at the moment. Between myself and my fiance really kicking off our wedding plans. We actually travelled interstate to the state where we're actually planning to get married for a weekend last weekend, and actually did a lot of wedding organisational things and bits and pieces, and that kind of took up the entire weekend, so I didn't have any time to do any of the filming stuff I wanted to do. And that travel actually served as a dual purpose, because we were actually going over to visit my grandparents, because unfortunately my grandfather is now in a nursing home, and it basically served as a catch up with him and also my grandmother as well, and just to say hi and things like that. And it was a very emotional trip for two very big reasons. On the one side we got the wedding, and on the other side because my grandfather isn't doing too well, and it was a big emotional swing weekend, and so it kind of threw me through a loop for the week after we returned from that trip, which was actually now almost 2 weeks ago. Sorry, my apologies. So it's been absolutely busy. It's been a bit crazy, and then last weekend we're flat out organising and doing wedding stuff again, so I haven't had time to finish off the videos that I've been promising to come out in December. But I've got good news. So, as you may see right there, which is actually sitting on this cool little table at the moment, that is a cool new little device that I grabbed off eBay to help with filming, and I'll get to that a little bit later on in the video about what that is. But that's the video card that I'm doing in my next retro history video. I decided to, once again, unfortunately, delay the 9700, 9500 Pro video because I was going through and doing editing, and I'd done a lot of all the B-roll and all the bits and pieces for the 9500 Pro, but most of the video I was talking about the 9700 Pro. And when I was watching it back, doing all the editing and things like that, I just really, there was a bit of a disconnect between what I was showing and what I was talking about, because I was talking about two different cards. So I decided that I would, I've looked, and I'm looking for a 9700 Pro at the moment. I have tried to buy several in the past, very unsuccessfully, because every time I've tried to buy one through eBay or other means from overseas, they've always turned out to be dead and not working. And I've tried to buy more than 5 of them, so I've had really rotten luck trying to find a 9700 Pro for a good price. It's like not $100, and actually find one that's working and in good condition. So it's just taken a bit longer to find it. But I thought it's really about time I jump in and actually do a ATI or Ruby video. And with this one, I get to talk a little bit cool about, I kind of get to jump ahead of the whole multi-GPU thing, which I was originally going to first tackle in my 6800 Ultra video coming. It'll probably be early next year, I reckon. Probably very early January is when I'm planning to do the big 6800 Ultra video. But I decided to jump the gun and go with ATI's Crossfire, kind of a little bit. When I'm talking about this this card here, which is a X1950 XTX 512 meg Crossfire edition. My god, that's a mouthful. Crossfire edition card, which is a really, really cool card. I've had that one for almost 5 years, I think I've had that card for. Quite a long time now. And it was actually one of the very first cards I got for my collection because of how cool it was. So I decided to do that ATI card first before jumping in and doing the 9700 Pro video. So sorry that it's not, my history isn't going to quite be in chronological order, but I will kind of jump backwards and forwards a little bit, because obviously I don't have every single card from both red and green throughout history. So I'm going to kind of jump a bit. But then the next video that I'm also working on at the moment as well is a really cool video, and you guys are going to really enjoy this, especially if you like seeing baby photos, kind of. And I'll give you a bit of a spoiler of a photo at the end. So another big hobby and passion of mine is sim racing. I've been doing sim racing now for almost 10 years almost, and I'll use the word sim racing very loosely because I kind of started out on more arcade games earlier on, and then shifted over to shifted away from controller, for example, and shifted over to actually using a proper sim rig, custom rig, and steering wheel and stuff set up now in my later, towards now basically. But the reason why I wanted to cover this video is also tied into part of the trip of going to visit my grandfather, because it was actually my grandfather who helped me build and pretty much built my sim racing rig. And so it's a bit of a emotional thing for me to talk about in a way. But I want to show you guys how easy it is if you're into sim racing, how little material and how basic of an idea you can have, and someone with a little bit of welding skills can put together a really simple little racing rig. So I want to do a video covering that. But in doing so, I'm actually going to also talk about my history with being fascinated with cars. And I've got a photo here which I'm going to leave to the very end of the video, because it's kind of a treat for hitting my 700 sub goal, I guess you can say I had a long time ago. 7's my favourite number, so that's why 700 was kind of like this cool little milestone. I'm kind of really happy I hit yesterday, actually, or it might have been the day before, but anyway. Now, the other major thing I wanted to cover in this video is a bit of a catch-up about what's actually going to be happening and the type of footage you're going to be, or the type of content you're going to be seeing from now on my channel. Is there's going to be 3, maybe 4 main types of videos that I'm going to be focusing on the channel. So when I first did my retro videos and bits and pieces, you'll notice that they were just very rough, very basic. Either I'm sitting in front of the camera's static on the tripod, or I was holding the camera and waving it around, showing you stuff. None of that was ever meant to be anything more than just a response to a few people liking a few photos that I posted about my collection, and then just wanting to do a video and show you guys the video. And then I had a couple of people ask about how I bought my retro GPUs, so I did a video on tips for buying retro GPUs and stuff. Well, since I've had such a good response and I've gained a small chunk of subscribers since starting the retro stuff, I decided to focus a lot more on doing more quality content videos, and this has allowed me to start converting my film and editing and animation background that I have into the YouTube platform, which for me has been very 2 different things. And my editing and animation background side of things have all been for live action, TV film sort of things, and the animation stuff is a little bit more on After Effects style of things. And you may notice in some of my videos I have a lot of intros and things like that. They're all done by myself in After Effects. That's basically what I've been doing now for the last 15 years. But when it comes to doing the YouTube side of things, there's a big disconnect from what I learnt to now doing the YouTube. And so that's where I'm trying to learn to convert a lot of my skills that I've learnt over to the YouTube platform and style of video, which is your sort of 10-minute long videos, where the editing is a lot different to, and the style of video is very different to what I'm used to being able to do. But essentially, going forwards, what I'm going to be focusing on is sort of 4 main types of videos. First one is going to be a very similar video to this, where I'm just doing an update vlog. It might be, hey, look at the new video cards I got in this month and added to my collection, and I'll just sort of wave them around and show you what they're like. Mixed in with B-roll and stuff. I'll do proper B-roll so you can have a look at the cards as I'm talking as well. It won't be just me standing here waving it in front of you. I'll do proper filming for that with the vlog as well. But the 2 main sort of videos styles that I'm going to be focusing on is the retro GPU history video that might turn into just retro PC hardware, where I don't just focus on video cards, but I also cover things like processors, motherboards, sound cards, all things like that, hard drives, whatever it might be. But I'm going to take a very cinematic style approach to filming those, similar to how I shot the TI-4600 video, because I had so much fun with that video, and so I had such a good response from the way that I shot that, it was a lot of fun to do. And I want to do a lot more of that sort of stuff, where I incorporate music and have a lot of fun filming some of this stuff. But that stuff takes a lot of time to do, and I need to get a few upgrades with my filming side of things to be able to do it the way that I want to be able to do it as well. So while I used quite a bit of tricks and hackery side of things to do the way that I did the TI-4600 video, like waving blue cold cathodes around in a dark room, that was fun, and I'm going to be using that sort of approach again in the future, but I need a new lens for my camera. I need to get a new macro lens, a proper lens for filming close-up stuff at slow or high frame rate, sorry. I'm getting the little thing that is sitting on is actually a little turntable, so it actually rotates and turns around, so I can actually get some shots of video cards and bits and pieces sort of rotating and moving, so I can add a little bit more dynamic movement to the shots and the films, like the shots and the way that I film some of the stuff as well. I'm trying to think of how to do some extra lighting tricks and bits and pieces to have a bit of fun with it, and yeah, basically that's it. It takes quite like 2 weeks to do quite a big chunk of filming with the amount of time that I have. So I'm going to be trying to do that in between doing those videos, which I might end up doing 1, maybe 2 a month, depending on what time I've got. In between those, I'm going to be doing things like, hey, check out my retro video. Hey, check out my racing rig video. Let's have a cool look back at my some old racing games and bits and pieces. The books in binders that I've got here that I've just brought home from my grandfather are all Commodore 64 manuals and tutorials on building games inside of Commodore 64 and bits and pieces. And I'm hoping to actually have a Commodore 64 sometime in the new year. I'm not sure when I'm going to be able to get it, or whether I am at all, definitely, but there's a a family member of mine that has a couple, and I'm seeing if I can get my hands on one, even just to borrow, to test it and have a play around with it, because I've never ever used one before. That'd be kind of fun. But the cinematic style of filming, if you guys are familiar with the British TV show Top Gear, before it all got shifted over and changed to the new crappy style, the style where they filmed sort of a feature film of a car and did very cinematic style of filming with the car, with the lighting and all that sort of stuff. That's the style, in a way, approach of how I really love filming this sort of stuff. It's really fun to do, but that's a cool way of looking at the style of filming that I'm trying to actually get and do with this sort of thing, because I have a huge amount of fun doing stuff to music. I'm a huge music fan. I have a huge music library, and I actually have several friends and access to a lot of royalty-free music. That's the cinematic style of music. I'm going to be using a lot of that in some of my videos that I'm doing. Now, the one final thing I'd like to point out, someone actually did point this out to me, and I did already know it because it was intentional, that the TI-4600 video is not monetized. That was intentional, and that was a choice that I made, because I wanted, it served as a behind-the-scenes test as well, because I used the Wonder Woman trailer music, Catapult, and edited the music basically to fit the little cinematic piece that I did for the TI-4600. When I was doing looking around for cinematic style music to pair with this sort of filming that I did, the Wonder Woman trailer was just that piece of music in particular, the Catapult music, fit perfectly with the aesthetics and the style of the video of the filming that I wanted to do for this video card. And given that the video card, that one there, has the wings on it, like the Valkyrie looking wings, and it was very fitting to the Wonder Woman theme and what Wonder Woman is and things like that. So there was this sort of cool parallels between the music and the style of music and the video card and the blue lighting that I was using and things like that, and it was really perfect. The problem I was having, and this is why I sat on that video for almost a month before releasing it, is I knew I was going to get copyright flagged. So I contacted the guy where I got the music from, and while he does offer it out for you to use for things, it gets monetized. So it gets demonetized, but he's happy for you to use it as long as you credit where it's come from, which I did in the description of the video. The problem was I didn't know how YouTube was going to handle it because it's automatic. So I actually did a test without the video going live to see what would happen. Had good results, knowing that the video was just going to go live, no problem. I basically knew that the video was going to go live with no monetization and not get taken down. It was still going to be fine. So then I re-uploaded the video, and it was a big success, but I get no monetization for that video. So in the future, while that music was very fitting and specific, I wanted that music because I'd just seen the movie, enjoyed the movie, really had a lot of fun with the movie. It was really cool, and that music was just stuck in my head. I couldn't get rid of it. So I bit the bullet and decided to just have one of the videos demonetized. Now I haven't gotten a single cent from YouTube at all yet from any of my videos for the last however long, 5 years since I've had the channel for, not a cent. And that's because most of this, I haven't reached that threshold yet, which ticks over to actually earning revenue yourself. And I think I'm a long way away from that. So basically the style of video that I'm going to be doing is just for the fun of doing it. So while I will be sticking to the YouTube format, which is like the 10-minute, maybe 12-minute long feature videos, for that sort of stuff, which are, you know, people for consuming, not just me sitting in front of the camera talking, which might take a little bit longer. The feature videos that I'm going to be doing, which is what I want to represent as what I offer in terms of the retro community side of things, will be formatted in a way that is the 10-minute long for the YouTube engagement side of things. The entire filming technique and stuff is just what I want to do, have a lot of fun doing, and I hope you guys enjoy as well. So that's been a lot of information. I apologize. The final thing I just want to mention is a big thank you to everyone who has subscribed in the last 6 months. I think I was sitting on between about 400 to 500 subscribers. I can't remember exactly what it was when I put up my first retro video, which is almost 6 months ago. And since then I've basically gained over 350 subscribers. To now I've just hit 700 or 701, I think it is, or maybe even 702 by now. So for that, here's a picture of me as a toddler, sitting in a cool little metal pedal car. This is going to be along with a bunch of other cool photos here that I'm going to be showing in my sim racing rig video very soon. It'll be coming out just before Christmas. So, thanks for watching, everyone. Thank you for English. So thanks for watching, everyone. Thank you for subscribe. I can't fucking speak English. So thanks everyone for subscribing. While I'm not sort of person that's like, hey, like, share, whatever, do whatever you want. This is just a hobby and fun for me. If you like watching, chuck a like on the video. But feel free to comment, because the comments is what I appreciate the most. Because I'm not really caring about likes or sharings, nothing like that at all. It's the feedback that I really appreciate, because that's what helps me go, oh, I didn't think of that. Yes, I'll try that in my next one. And then it's the discussion side of it as well. That's what I really, really love as well. So, comment. That's the important thing that I care about. So, thank you for watching, and hopefully I should have the ATI history video coming out within the next week, by the next weekend. This weekend has again been really busy with wedding stuff, so it's been a little bit busy. Haven't had a chance to even record all the scripting for that just yet. So yeah, thanks for watching. Catch you in the next one. Bye for now. My water bottle just like popped on me.